Our first speaker is Beverly Thompson. She is from Texas Women's University. And the title of her talk is The Making of Covered, a documentary about heavily tattooed women and female tattoo artists in the United States. Now, Beverly is an assistant professor of women's studies at Texas Women's University. She earned her PhD in sociology from the New School of Social Research in New York City. She also earned a postdoctoral fellowship in women's studies at Florida International University in Miami. Within the last 5 years, she has incorporated documentary video into her ethnographic research and has just completed her first feature-length documentary, Covered.
So I'm going to get started here and talk about the making of Covered, which I just completed. So this is an ethnographic study. As she mentioned, I'm trained as a sociologist, and so I spent a lot of my training learning how to do ethnography, learning how to go out in the field and interview people. And so for this project, I was interviewing heavily tattooed women and female tattoo artists. And of course, that's a very visual topic. And so instead of having a traditional ethnography of a pen and paper, I want to bring along a video camera with me and really show what the folks look like and what they talk about and stuff like that. And so I decided that a documentary video is a lot more interesting and exciting than a traditional ethnography, which is just aimed towards academic writing, journaling, and producing a book. And that's, of course, what they promote in sociology and in my profession. And so it's been a little discouraging to try to incorporate video into my academic work because, for example, my chair is saying things like, yeah, documentary, but when are you going to write the academic journal article? That's what she's really excited about. But of course, not only are academics my audience, but I want to get this material out into the real world and to get it to people that are interested in the topic, which definitely extends far beyond academics. Women can have tattoos that are very gender appropriate as long as they're small, cute, and hidden. And so these are examples of those kinds of tattoos that you often see exhibited out in the world. The lower back tattoo, the ankle tattoo, and a tattoo on the hip. And so for women, that's completely appropriate and acceptable to have those kinds of tattoos. And so that's not what I was looking at in this project. I was looking at the heavily tattooed women. And so what does that mean? So having an appropriate tattoo is small, cute, and hidden. So these designs are large. For example, you see the woman with the sleeve tattoos. Having tattoos on public skin, which are the forearms, the hands, the neck, the face, things that you can't hide easily. And then, of course, designs that are not cute, like the zombie below. And so a lot of the women I would see have these really images like that are definitely not girly, and so I was interested in that as well. And so a lot of people have full coverage, like this back piece that we see here. So these are pieces that are very large. And I'm also looking at high-end tattooing. So these are people that spend a lot of money and a lot of time and effort into getting their tattoos. And so they might travel, across the country to go and work on their tattoos for hours at a time. And these kinds of projects take years. And so a lot of the research asks, why do people get tattoos? And so there's no one reason, and people get tattoos for multiple reasons, for all kinds of reasons, and they are trying to just express, their personal interests and their what's important to them, so their identity and stuff like that. One of the issues that most stood out for me was that heavily tattooed women, of course, face a lot of social sanctions. And so this includes, a lot of stares and rude comments from the public when they're out at their jobs and in line at Starbucks or whatever. And then a lot of people come up and actually touch them and feel their skin without permission. And so that was something that really stood out within the research. It's something that a lot of the non-tattooed people don't know about. A lot of them face family rejection. Some of them have been completely rejected from their families. And a lot of them have a lot of difficulty with their families for sure. And of course, being heavily tattooed is not a protected class, so they definitely face employment discrimination. And so this is an example of someone coming up and touching them. They often say that people come up in the store and touch them from behind or something when they don't expect it. And so that's pretty shocking. And they also said that, you know, if people had just asked for permission first, that they would have been completely fine with it, which I think is pretty generous. And so I have another video clip I'm not going to show, but that talks about tattooed mothers. And so, of course, for women, they're transgressing these gender norms, but it's definitely a lot more severe when the women are mothers. And so when they're out in their public with their children and so on, they got a lot more social sanctions about how they are deviant, you know, they're bad mothers and so on. And so I also have interviews with some of the tattooed women along with their mothers and what their reactions to their daughters' tattooings are. And so a big message, you know, is this issue and the dichotomy of being true to themselves. They're attracted to tattoos for a lot of different reasons, but mostly they just really love this artwork and this form of self-expression. But when they get a lot of tattoos like this, they're definitely transgressing social norms, and so they get a lot of static. So the issue is, you know, are you true to yourself? Do you conform to social norms? And so those are some of the things I looked at. I made this documentary. It's an hour long. I've just completed it, and I'm starting to submit it out to film festivals. So I expect that it'll get some good showing at some film festivals, and I'll get a distributor and make $1 million bucks. That's the plan. So at this point, you know, I haven't completely lost hope, but maybe in a few months I won't be so happy about it. But at any rate, I hope you pick up the card. There's the website for the movie. You can check out more video clips, and that'll list future showings of where the movie's going to be playing at film festivals and so on. So that's it for me. Thanks a lot.
Okay.